And welcome to Oviedo for the final event of the FIM X-Trial World Championship season. Confirmation of the lineup and the order for the final. Raga will tackle the sections first, then James Dable, then Albert Cabastan, and Tony Bow will round us off. Into position for the first section. Adam Raga will be the first up. We're on to the skips, two main lifts here. Back wheel starting from ground level in both. Look at this one. Adam Raga will have to work his way from the bottom of this skip up the height of one vertical skip and then a further block just to make it a little bit more difficult. Raga does that well. Front wheel onto the top of the ledge. Now down the other side. Now for the second lift. This is the steeper of the two. And it's a shorter run-up as well because the skip he's coming from is a smaller one, but he's done that well as well. He has to use a bit of encouragement from his upper body to get over the top. But Adam Raga looking good here. And he's through well within time. 43.7 seconds and a very solid start to today's grand final for Adam Raga. James Dable next up. Twice on the podium through his career, but it's been a long time since he last made the top three, all the way back in 2010, as you heard earlier on here tonight. Can James Dable make the wait worthwhile by making it into the top three here tonight in Oviedo? Only two riders in the running for a championship podium there. Raga and Cabastan. Oh, James Dable! He's come back down early. He was going up the first of the two main ramps and comes straight back down the other side. Disappointing start then to the final for James Dable. Just when we were starting to talk about the top three, James Dable immediately putting himself behind. No such difficulties for Albert Cabastan. Really roared out of that skip. And down the other side. 20 seconds elapsed for Albert Cabastan. He's already more than halfway through this section. He's got to make the turn and up this narrow ledge. Easy enough by the looks of it for Albert Cabastan. And around about the same time marker as Adam Raga, in fact slightly faster, 41.4 seconds. Albert Cabastan and Adam Raga both go 5 marks clear of James Dable. Last up, Tony Bow. Well, he was faster than Albert Cabastan by, well, he managed it in half the time of Albert Cabastan in section 4 when he was under time pressure. So a section that hasn't posed too many difficulties for Cabastan in Raga in terms of time pressure. Shouldn't be too difficult on paper, at least for Tony Bow, as he sets himself up for the first of the lifts. Really does make the lifts look easy. It really is the big difference between himself and most of the other riders, the way he makes these big jumps, particularly in X-Trial competition, looks so easy. That's 2 down, and the rest of the section should be fairly straightforward for Tony Bow. And it is easy enough. 38.4 seconds the time. The sections will get harder as this final goes on, but early on, it's Raga, Cabastan and Bow yet to drop a mark, and James Dable already in arrears. On to section 2, the red zone. This is one of the longest sections in the final. Starts with a 90-degree turn here and a ramp, and then 2 challenging jumps, and both of them are onto curved platforms. The second of the 2 jumps is the most difficult. The first is a warm-up, if you like. Just making it over the ramp here is Adam Raga. Here's the first of the jumps. At the moment, tied with Cabestan and with Bo. A lot of hesitation here from Adam Raga, but eventually he gets over the other side. That's one jump down. Now for jump number 2. Down the other side of those barrels. This is the tougher one. Look at the angle here. He's got to make that movement mid-air and then land it onto a sixpence because it's a curved surface the other side. No run up either. Oh, and Raga can't get himself over the top. He's frustrated. His bike is still stuck mid-air because it's launched onto that curved platform. And already, James Dable is onto the section. Can he run clear through this section 2 and throw himself back into contention for a podium position? What would be his first podium of the season. First jump here for James Dable. Job done. Now the other side of the barrels, and from the last barrel, one of those curved surfaces, he's got to jump to another one with a narrow ledge angled away from him. All of the odds are stacked up against these riders, quite literally. James Dable, a British representative. His minder, you can see how curved that surface is because his minder's struggling to stay on top of it. And James Dable couldn't get up, didn't even get as close as Adam Raga in the end. Drops 5 marks. So that's 10 for Dable, 5 for Raga. Albert Cabestan is the next rider up. 4 times a winner in Spain. Can he make it number 5? Rider who hasn't been on the top step of the podium since 2010. The last rider to beat Tony Bow in competition, and hasn't been on the top step of the podium in Spain since 2007. A long wait for success for Cabestan, who at the moment is struggling just to make that first jump. He was finding it difficult to get the machine into position. The other riders hadn't struggled in the same way. But Cabestan's got through that now, over the barrels. Really making this section 2 look pretty scrappy, but that could all change here if he can make this big leap. Which he can't. Cabestan also dropping 5 marks. So it's Cabestan and Raga on 5, Dable on 10. And Tony Bow yet to drop a mark, but he's still got to tackle this difficult-looking section number 2. Can Tony Bow do the job here? Already an X-Trial winner in 5 different Spanish cities. Could make it a 6th different Spanish city if he can win here in Oviedo tonight, having never competed in an X-Trial event in Oviedo. First jump done, but that's been easy enough for all of the riders in the end. Now across the barrels and to the second jump. If Bow makes his way through this one, he'll get to see the rest of the section. He's done it. Tony Bow up onto the top. The other riders haven't even seen this last element of the section, but Bow does it easily. Even has time for a little stunt at the end there, and in 50 seconds dead, comes over the line to give himself a 5-mark advantage coming into section 3. Adam Raga the first up for the green zone. Same configuration actually as the semi-final section 3, which we should be familiar with by now. Both James Dable and Tony Bow failed this zone. Adam Raga has already cleared this one once. Can he do the job again here? Ooh, struggled on that ledge, almost slipped off the back of it, but gets the machine hauled up in time. Makes the 90-degree turn to then continue. He's just over halfway through this section number 3 now, and onto the second of the 2 lifts. This is the moment where Tony Bow failed in the semi-finals. Raga has no such difficulty, no errors, and he comes through without dropping a mark in section 3 to launch the pressure back on his rivals. James Dable next up onto the green zone. Well, last time he couldn't make it onto that first ramp, but he's done so this time. Good news for James Dable. Now he has the challenge that a couple of the other riders haven't got, that he's seeing the rest of this section for the first time. A foot down onto that narrow ledge. Well, I've talked that ledge up through most of tonight, but most of the riders haven't struggled. James Dable just making the error there to cost himself a mark. And that's going to put him on 11 as a best possible tally. Very much putting himself in doubt. Definitely now cannot beat Adam Raga. And definitely can't do it now because he slipped off the back of the machine coming up onto the second lift. And James Dable is on 15 with a section still to go. Disappointing, 3 fiascos so far. Albert Cabastan next up onto section 3. Scoreline looking like Dable on 15 isn't going to make it into the top 3. Raga on 5 very much will do. Cabastan picking the machine up the other side. If he drops a 5 here, then he'll be under pressure from Adam Raga, of course, but otherwise he should be in line here tonight. Albert Cabastan just settling himself down for the second lift. Up he goes, and over the top as well. Albert Cabastan in fine style. So Cabastan moving second in the standings. Raga also on 5, and James Dable cannot now make the top 3. Disappointing for him here in Oviedo, but the final just hasn't gone his way as we move on to section 3. If Tony Bowe can clear this section, he has won in Oviedo with a section to spare. Regardless of what happens in section 4, if Bowe clears this one, he's your winner. Onto the narrow ledge. Now, this is where Bowe failed in the semi-finals. Will he have the same difficulty in the final? Minder at the top, helping him over. Job done for Tony Bowe, 46.4, and Tony Bowe wins here in Oviedo. Very muted celebrations from the reigning world champion. I sense he'll wait until the job is totally done at the end of section 4 before he starts to celebrate. Very level-headed champion Tony Bowe. Adam Raga, the first rider, onto section 4. The job already done in terms of beating James Dable, and he's dropped 5 marks there. So the battle was between Cabastan and Raga for second and third, but by dropping a 5 there, it's game over for that one as well, and our 4 positions in today's event are decided. It will be Bowe, Cabastan, Raga and Dable. Now it's just about pride in the last 3 attempts at this section 4. It was a tough one in qualifying, this black zone. Tony Bowe, the only rider to get through it in qualifying. Have any of them learnt? James Dable not able to get up onto the top there. As we move on to Albert Cabastan in section number 4. So Dable and Raga have both failed. Can Cabastan do anything about that? The first of 2 big lifts here. This is the speciality of Tony Bowe. Cabastan's done pretty well, but he couldn't get up there. Minder had to catch the front wheel in the end. So that leaves Albert Cabastan now on 10 marks, along with Adam Raga. Superiority given to him by his seeding position into the final, of course, and that's what already confirmed Cabastan as second place before we even went into his ride here on this section 4. Once Raga had dropped the 5 marks, third position was the most he could get. Tony Bowe already guaranteed the win, but this, if anything, is his victory lap of honour. Triangular section layout, taking riders over 2 main lifts. The first of which is just ahead now for Tony Bowe. Competing today in his 61st extra, 41 wins if you include his success today in Oviedo. And that's the reason why he's just so much stronger than the other riders on those big lifts and big jumps. It's almost as if some of these sections are just designed to test the limit of what Tony Bowe can manage. This one is even tougher because he's got a ledge to mount before he can build up to the top of this number 1. A number, of course, that represents his status within the sport. Undisputed champion Tony Bowe is the first to successfully tackle section 4, and that's the opportunity he wanted before he would start to celebrate his success here in Oviedo tonight. Many of the fans today have come just to see him. The championship was already decided, but what feats of human endurance can this man manage as he continues to pile the agony onto his rivals? Winner by plenty of clear marks here today over Cabastan, Raga and Dable in the final.
In the final, I was very close to go up the step in the last section, but then I didn't go up, but I have to be happy. I did a good championship, and finally 3rd place is not bad.
Yeah, I'm happy for everything tonight. My riding has been really good. I take 2nd position, also in the World Championship. I finished runner-up after Tony, so it's an honor to be the runner-up with that rider that is Tony Bowe. That it's amazing right now, and for me, it's the best I can do. I managed to make it, and I'm really happy for me and for the team that they work very hard every day.
Yeah, today is a special day because possible riding nothing pressure, it's a special day for me, only riding for the public and try my best, and I think it's fantastic night. Only a little mistakes in the semi-final, but I think my riding today is incredible.
So Tony Bow wins comfortably over his nearest rivals Albert Cabestan and Adam Raga, who tied on points here today for a fourth consecutive event. James Dable makes the final but misses out on this podium, leaving your final podium trio Raga, Cabestan and Tony Bow. 2 podiums to celebrate, of course, today for the event and for the World Championship, but in the end they're exactly the same. The top 3 today match the top 3 in the overall title race. A look at the standings then. Loris Goubion makes a move above Jorge Casales thanks to his semi-final appearance tonight, while James Dable remains above Gironi Fajardo in 4th. Looking at the top of the standings then, no doubt about this season's championship winner. Tony Bow receiving his gold medal now. That's the one that they've all been fighting for this season. Adam Raga and Albert Cabestan trading blows all year, but with the latter never off the podium this season. He did the job for second. Neither of them, though, able to live with the style of Tony Bow. A season which took him to 41 career wins has seen him stretch his unbeaten run to 26. This year, at least, nobody could live with the 8 times world champion.
Once again, Tony Bow has shown exquisite form, recording his 5th victory in as many rounds, destroying his rivals yet again. As for the championship podium, an all-Spanish top 3 is exactly the gift the Spanish crowd had hoped for. But the 2014 season is undoubtedly the Tony Bow show. The question on everyone's mind is, will he be able to make the stage his own again next year? Until then, all his rivals can do is look back and get more of his dominance here in Oviedo.